Hey guys, it's Rue. What's up? I hope you're good. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a new background. I'm currently in my hometown for a week, which I have a full vlog of this that I'm currently also filming. That'll be up before this video, and yeah, I'm at my mom's place, so I'm at her kitchen table. That's why this is the background today. I'm sorry for the lighting because, like, honestly, we only have this big yellow light in the kitchen, like just the ceiling light, so I'm a little bit yellow right now. So today's video is gonna be my first ever Reddit reading video. I love listening to Reddit podcasts a lot. My top two are Two Hot Takes and Reddit on Wiki. I love those so much. And so I was thinking maybe I could do this myself. So I just went through kind of a shit show of a breakup, and by just I mean like in August, and we are at the end of November, and yeah, the relationship was getting quite toxic and kind of abusive mentally / emotionally and financially. I'm not gonna go into more details than that. It's just kind of a shit show. And I'm also in a new relationship, new as of June. Yes, the relationship are overlapping. I'm polyamorous, so. And this new relationship is honestly super healthy and happy and amazing. So I thought, why not deep into relationship advice? I have 5 stories, and I don't know if I'm gonna get through all of them, and if I do, I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but I hope you will enjoy it. The link to all of these stories would actually be in the description. I'm so excited to do this. I always have so many opinions, and I love talking about whatever is going on. I love like talking about and commenting on like whatever story is on the podcast I'm listening to with my girlfriend. So let's do this. So this first story is from r/relationship advice. It is 8-month-old. And it is titled, Am I, 27F, overreacting to a secret my husband, 28M, just casually let slip on a date? Just off of the title, secrets are never good, honestly. So, yeah. Let's go through this. My husband and I have been married for 6 years, together for 12. The thing I've always loved the most about this man is that he adores me and is always 100% honest with me. Well, we just got home from a date. I'm still sitting in the car wondering if I'm crazy. But there was a time when we were about 23 years old where I really wanted a baby. We tried so hard for about a year, but it never happened. Honestly, I can admit now that that idea was out there, and I'm genuinely glad we didn't conceive then because our lives are so great now, and at this point I don't even think I want kids. If that man got a vasectomy, or was slipping her contraception. Anyways, on our date, he mentioned that time period where we're trying and let it slip that every day before we did it, he would jerk off so there would be less of a risk that it would actually happen. I think he admitted this because I was just talking about how glad we didn't have kids, so he felt comfortable just admitting that. If you truly don't want kids, talk it out with your partner. I was too taken aback and started crying mid-date. I know, it sounds dramatic, but I feel like I just learned that he's never been 100% honest with me like I thought. Why don't you just talk to me and say, hey, I don't think it's the right time, instead of manipulating me? We did it every single day during that time, and now I'm just questioning everything. He's acting like it's not a big deal, and I'm just overreacting, but I feel extremely hurt right now. So am I blowing this out of proportion? Girl, you're not putting this out of proportion? Like, in a relationship, you do want 100% honesty, and like, if you think it was too early, just talk it out, especially 23. Like, there is an update actually on here, but I will go to the top comment and read it out, and then we're gonna go to the update. But yeah, my thoughts on this are honestly just, what the hell? You practically lied to her for a while. They've been married 6 years, together for 12, and yeah, 4 years ago, you were trying, quote unquote, and you just didn't want that. Like, honestly, just be honest with your partners. What the fuck? So, the top comment on this is, perhaps it bothers you so much because love, marriage, and children are huge deals. Pretty big things to lie, to be manipulated about, even though in this case it worked out. I'll be asking myself and him if there's anything else he needs to tell me about. If not, I'll try to move past this one, but he would need to acknowledge why I'm so upset instead of being so dismissive. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't appreciate it if the confession was the other way around and you were doing something behind his back to increase the chance of conception without telling him. Yes, 100%. Because this is not just a little white lie that, oh, like, I'm planning my girlfriend a birthday party, so, like, let's not tell her that. It is, like, a huge deal because that is your life. Like, my girlfriend and I want to have a baby, but if all of a sudden I started taking birth control and being like, well, I'm not going to tell her because I don't want a baby, that is so manipulative. And also, like the comment mentioned, like the reverse of, like, honestly, slipping off a condom is technically sexual assault. So, you know, I know the reverse is not the truth, but still a pretty big thing to lie about, especially if you're so in love, because that's 4 years ago. They have been together for a while. 4 years ago, they already had been married for 2 years. That is a big thing, especially when you get married. You think that you already know, like, that's your person usually. So let's go to the update on this post. It says, hey everyone, I want to let everyone know that I was transparent last night following this post. I got so many helpful comments and I appreciate them all. Some comments were very out there and dramatic, even for me, but I still appreciate the time it took to read my post and reply. I saw some common themes, so I wanted to clarify some things. First, I did reflect back on that time and realized I did have baby fever. And while he never outright told me he didn't want a baby, I can see now that he wasn't as enthusiastic as I was, so that could be on me for being so focused on what I wanted. Again, people, just talk to your partners. Communication is the fucking key. Secondly, I was never upset that he didn't want a baby or even the way he went about it. The only thing that hurt my feelings was the withholding of information and not being direct with me. That. Following the initial hurt of the situation, we did sit down and talk about it. We have grown and I explained my feelings to him. He apologized and I understood why I felt hurt. We're going to be fine. I made it clear that in the future, he doesn't need to do something just to make me happy if his heart is in it, and we both agreed to be more direct with one another. And yes, we all know that this is not an effective form of birth control. That? Like, I'm so happy about that ending. And that, like, they're adults. They talked it out. But, like, I feel like I'm going to say that to every fucking story, but, like, communicate, people. That is the one thing in relationships. Once you stop communicating, it's going to start going downhill. Hiding stuff is never the key. It's never the answer. It's never it. Oh my God. Well, I have a lot to say about this one, but that was something. My guy, holy shit. Story number 2 is also from r/relationship advice. It is also 8 months old, and it is titled, I, 35F, regret marrying my husband, 34M, how to get past this. Oh God, you divorce. That's I feel like that's the only answer to this, but alright, let's go through this. I, a 35 female, made a mistake of a lifetime. I grew up in a household where my parents fought a lot. During my doctoral years in graduate school, I was in a stable 4-year relationship with a doctor that felt perfect. My ex was loving, funny, generous, kind, and a very strong character and similar internal value system. We never fought. I was happy, fulfilled, motivated, secure, and overall a better, stronger person with him by my side. I remember looking at him while I was driving and thinking, man, he'll be such a good dad one day. Ooh, is it gonna be the one that got away kind of story? The segment in my life with him was happy, but looking back, it also felt alien. I have never been in such a stable relationship before. I didn't grow up like that. I've never been this supportive or happy. I don't know how good I had it. However, our sex life wasn't great to non-existent. At the end of our relationship, I ended up moving away for a highly competitive, once-in-a-lifetime job. While away, I cheated on him, and we were no longer together. Well, that is never good. Like, if you think something's not working out, break up. Don't cheat on people. I cheated on him with my husband. My husband and I met because we had similar passion for trail running ultra marathons. We loved being outdoors, and having someone by my side in such a niche sport felt special. I overlooked the fact that we only graduated from high school and was/is making minimum wage when I make 6 figures. I was young and thought that love would prevail. I started to see cracks in our relationship as time went on. While I was working hard at overtime to save up for a house, he would disappear for days on camping trips, leaving me to take care of household chores and our dog. We fought over so many little things and had countless communication issues. We did not communicate well or do conflict resolution well. I noticed our sense of humor always didn't jive. For example, there was a time I questioned if he's racist because of the jokes he made with his friends, and it really bothered me. Our empathy level for other and this planet are very different. Break it off just then. Okay, like, I made the mistake. I was in a relationship for 7.5 years. I now know, like, girl, just break up if it's not working. But, like, please don't do this to yourself. I was in my 30s then, and I thought I needed to make this work. No. I later learned that there is guilt from cheating, and oftentimes you feel like you need to end up with a person to make it feel right. So we got married and now have a baby. Oh, that changes. No, that doesn't change anything. Honestly, take care of your baby. We can still break up with that man. After having a baby, our differences and conflicting values were amplified. After marrying, we took an expensive career change, which I'm funding. He comes home from work tired and sometimes needs to study after work or on weekends. When he's not studying, he lies in bed on his phone instead of spending time with me or our baby. He says he needs to decompress, he's always on his phone, whereas cut down screen time for my baby. Take care of your baby, dude. He says his career comes first, even though it doesn't pay much compared to my career. He says when he gets a chance, he's going to move our family out of state to advance his career. I told him I do not want that because we have grandparents, good school, and strong community here for our child. Yeah, be there for your child, girl. Like, he does nearly 0% of childcare throughout the week. Oh, girl. On weekends, we may have 15-30 minutes play session with our baby, but it's always spontaneous on his time. And I never know how much free time I will have before he says I need to get back to studying. So it's hard for me to get things done or run errands out of the house. Despite him being very absent as a parent, he's very opinionated with raising our baby, and everything seems to be my fault according to him. Girl, divorce him. I'm sorry. There's still a couple points. Girl, divorce that man. He threatens me with more workload. If I complain about his absence as a dad while he's playing with our baby, he leaves the room and says, I'm playing with him for you. If you're not grateful, I need to get back to work. Similarly, I did all of our taxes as always in the effort to help mail the packet. When I completely forgot to attach the W-2s and I'm missing other things, he said it was too complicated and he's going to bed. Never thanked me for doing our taxes, leaving me to finish the task, the effort, the help. That man, like the weaponized incompetence and entitlement from that man is fucking crazy. Like, what the fuck? He is entitled. That's what I was saying. For example, he saves $0 for the down payment of our home, yet our home needs to have 3-car garage, and he needs an extra room for a music studio that he never uses now. Yes, I want to be a good partner and concede to his demands, and now I feel resentful. I also feel resentful when I see friends who married their classmates now living in nice, safe, highly sought-after neighborhoods, in beautiful homes, or have 2 or 3 homes, while we need to make some compromises as I'm the sole breadwinner in our relationship. Our educational level differences also show in our conversations. It does not seem like he holds into a global or political issues deeply or empathetically. He has no interest in doing or learning how to do conflict resolution. It also appears he is too insecure to apologize. After knowing him for 8 years and countless arguments, he has only apologized once or twice to me, while I apologize after nearly all arguments. Girl, run. I don't care, just run. Leave his ass. What the fuck? No. No. He's always tired. One morning outing to the park and he needs to be in bed for 3 hours. 2 hours on his phone and 1 hour napping. Okay, I can kind of get that because I have chronic fatigue, but I feel like it's not chronic fatigue. It's just like not wanting to be with you and your baby. Yes, I know money, income, and education isn't everything. I know this may be my fate for karma from cheating on my good ex. No, baby, no. I'm just feeling lost and alone. I'm wandering. I don't know if anyone has any advice, if things will get better, or how I can move past this. That top comment is everything. It's a story, but your last point is so funny. You think your ultra marathon running partner is exhausted by going to the park. The truth is he just doesn't want to spend time with you and the baby, just like you don't really enjoy your conversations with him. You both resent each other. Like, you need to leave him, kick him out. The second top comment is, it has been 8 years and you still think things are going to get better. Has it gotten better? No. Will it get better? No. What makes you stay? It can't be the child he never spends time with. You've made one mistake in marrying him, but you can still get a divorce. You don't have to live your stuck life with him. Please get therapy. The good relationship felt alien to you because it's not the version of love you grew up seeing. So it felt alien. Then you met and cheated with your husband, who is familiar to you. He's basically your dad. You repeated the cycle, but now that you've identified it, I suggest therapy to help you break out. Individual therapy, not couples. I know you don't have the time, but you need to carve out the time for therapy. Yes. Honestly, just leave him. I'm gonna go to OP's profile to see if there's any other comments because, oh shit. 3 months ago, OP made another post called Contempt for my husband. We will be reading that. Holy shit. But first, does she have comment on the first post? In his defense, we have not run trail in years. We're both highly deconditioned. Since he started his new career, he has been feeling stressed and sleep deprived. His new career follows the structure of a medical residency, intern, junior resident, senior resident, before becoming a physician. For context, it is high professional with high stakes and requires ongoing studying. Okay, but he's still able to make time for you and your baby. He's in the fire department, needing to progress up, EMT to medic to firefighter. Okay, I get it is tiring to study, but girl, that's still not it. If he wants to train to be a firefighter, do you know how much stamina firefighters need to have? I hate your husband. Cool. Her second post was 3 months ago on r/old people advice. It is called Contempt for My Husband. I have contempt for my husband. I don't know if the relationship is worth saving. We have one son. I feel like I'm the one taking care of this family. I'm both the breadwinner, household manager, and emotional giver of this family. I'm the only one who saved up for a down payment for our current house. I make 7 times more than he does. I do nearly all the child care. I do nearly all the housework aside from taking out the trash. He takes care of the hard work, but it's not a daily thing like housework. I want to stay up late to decorate and blow up balloons to surprise our son for his birthday. But husband just went to sleep because he is too tired. There's no emotional support, no I love yous, or how can I help? When we have a long time, he's often staring at his phone while I'm trying to talk to him or connect. I think we're both over it, both tired and resentful of each other. I resent him for not taking care of me or our family. He resents me for getting mad and telling him he's inadequate almost daily. Girl, you need to divorce. Wow, man, just divorce that man. That is not it. Like, top comment on this one is, for what it's worth, contempt is the best indicator of likely relationship failure with 90% correlation. Like, once you lose respect, start condemning or resenting your partner, like, there's no going back. Like, even if things do get better, you're still gonna have that little voice in the back of your head telling you, but what if, which is what actually happened in my with my ex. And honestly, you just need to get out of there, because even if it does get better, or if you start communicating more, or like you start caring for each other more, you're still gonna be like, yeah, but is he forcing himself? Does he actually want to be with me? Does this, so many what ifs. So, girl, please just get out of there. We don't have any other updates on Opie's account. Like, the contempt for my husband was 3 months ago, and that is like the last thing on her account. So I truly hope she got out of there. And honestly, she most definitely will be able to, she's gonna be able to have like her kid 100%. Especially if like she makes that much more money. She's the sole emotional connection that her son has. So I truly hope she does get out of there, and that she just either gets a better, no, not even, like, don't even go and get another partner right away. Concentrate on yourself, what you want, what you don't want, and just on your son. But she needs to get out of there, no matter what. Our next post comes from Best of Reddit Updates, but was originally posted to r/relationship advice. The original post was on November 8th, 2023, and the title is, I, 29 male, think of my girlfriend, 26 female, is only with me because she can't be with her best friend, 26 male. Should I just end the relationship? There are some trigger warnings on this story for verbal abuse, infidelity, emotional manipulation, and religious trauma. Since this is from Best of Reddit Updates, it's gonna be a long one. So, it says, I've been with my girlfriend Jordan for a little over 2 years. We live together and have 2 cats. Up until this weekend, I genuinely thought everything was perfect in our relationship, which I know is what everyone says in these posts, but I really was thinking that I was going to ask her to marry me sometime in the next year. We don't ever get into arguments. Jordan is very sweet and easygoing, and normally we just mesh well on everything. Honestly, if everything in our relationship hadn't been so good up until now, I probably would have just broken up with her this weekend. But because things have truly been so perfect, I'm not sure if maybe I'm jumping to the wrong conclusion about what to do because my feelings got hurt. The other person who's important in this story is Jordan's friend Mark. She's known Mark for their whole lives because they both grew up in the same small religious community. Jordan isn't part of that religion anymore. She decided to leave the church when she was, I think, 19 and moved to the state that we live in now. Mark is still in the religion and apparently takes it really seriously. I'm told he now works for the church back in Jordan's hometown. Also, as far as I know, Mark is the only person from religious community that Jordan still talks to besides her parents, which I'm mentioning because I now think it could be a red flag. I don't think the red flag is that she still talks to someone from her past religious community. What I do think could be a red flag is if Mark is trying to rope her back in, or maybe make her feel inadequate because she left the church or anything like that. Like, that could be a red flag, especially if her parents are also still in that religious community. Maybe her parents are trying to go through Mark for her to come back. Hopefully not, but there was a trigger warning for the religious trauma, and I'm scared this is what's gonna happen. So on Saturday, I met Mark for the first time because he was in our city and Jordan wanted us all to have dinner together. Okay. At this point, I want to say, I will admit that when we first started dating, I found out that Jordan had a quote-unquote best friend who was a guy. I didn't really like it, especially because it seemed like they were on FaceTime with each other a lot. But since it was a childhood friend and they mostly didn't see each other in person, I just trusted Jordan that Mark was only a friend and didn't let it bother me, and eventually I got over it. So when we were going to dinner, I wasn't jealous or suspicious of Mark at all. If anything, I was somewhat excited to finally be meeting him, since I've been hearing about him for 2 years. That's kind of how I feel right now, because I know that in 2 months, I will be going to Pokemon Regional in Toronto and meeting my girlfriend's friends, and I'm so excited. Like, I want to know, I want to get to know her people and meeting them, and like, I kind of know about them, but you know, so excited to meet them. And I think that's what OOP felt like, just meeting someone that your loved one is so close with and that your loved one loves is just always scary, but so exciting and fulfilling. Personally, that's what I think. But then the way Jordan and Mark acted at dinner is what convinced me that there's something going on there other than just being quote best friends. I honestly don't know how to describe it, except that I've never seen two people act more obviously like they were in love with each other. They literally would not stop touching each other. They were constantly touching each other's arms and shoulders. And at some point, they were actually even holding hands. They completely left me out of the conversation and were laughing about inside jokes. And every time they'd laugh, they'd do this thing where they put their forehead together, or that was when they would be holding hands. Then also, they were just looking at each other in a way that I didn't feel comfortable with at all. It was honestly even worse than the touching. It just wasn't how anyone would look at someone they'd supposedly just friends with. The one that got away, man, that is... Have they ever slept with each other? Have they ever been a thing? Are they only just pining for each other and have been pining this whole time? I'm 100% sure that every stranger looking at our table thought that Jordan and Mark were the couple and that I was her brother or something. I felt like a third wheel the whole time, and Jordan didn't even notice how awkward she was making it for me because she was always too focused on Mark and all the attention she was getting from him. And that's really not like Jordan at all. Usually she's a lot more considerate and would notice immediately if I wasn't having a good time or if she'd accidentally being rude or excluding someone at the table. So it was genuinely really jarring to be sitting there with her and Mark basically feeling like I didn't know my girlfriend at all. It was like he turned her into a completely different person who didn't even care that I was alive. So finally, at one point when Jordan got up to go to the bathroom, I just said to Mark, "So, are you into my girl or what's going on here?" Mark: "Nothing's going on at all. That ship sailed a long time ago." Me: "What does that mean? Did you guys date at some point?" Mark: "No, we never did. And then when she left the church, we both knew it meant that we were never going to, and we accepted being in each other's lives as friends. There's nothing else going on at all. 1, would you be with her if she came back to the church? 2, y'all are acting like more than friends. Me, that makes it sound like the only reason you're not together is because she left the church. All Mark did was shrug. Me, well, what if she came back to the church? Would you marry her? Mark, oh, she's not going to do that. You might as well ask what would happen if a bicycle had 6 tires. And so, when Jordan came back to the table, Mark said to her, Obi wants to know if we'd be married if you weren't a god with Ethan. Jordan, why? Did you two call my mom while I was gone? Oh no. Okay, yeah, as I was saying at the start, her parents want her back, and they're probably wanting him to get her back into church. Holy shit. And then she and Mark both just laughed about it and changed the subject. So because of dinner and that conversation and everything else that I've written about in this post, I really feel like Jordan and Mark are in love with each other and not just best friends like they say, and that the only reason they aren't together is because they can't compromise about their religion. I think Jordan thinks that because she's okay with that decision, she expects me to be okay with being her second choice, and in the meantime, she's actually secretly wanting to be with Mark. So that makes me think that I should probably obviously just have self-respect and break up with her, because I shouldn't be in a relationship with someone who would rather be with somebody else. Yes. Exactly that. But then the problem for me is that our relationship has been so perfect and Jordan has always treated me so well except for this one night. The only time she's ever acted like this was on the one occasion that Mark was around in person. Normally, even when she's talking to him all the time, she's never made me feel this way. So on the one hand, I'm wondering if maybe it doesn't matter what Jordan's feelings are for Mark. As long as he isn't going to be around, it doesn't actually seem to affect our relationship. So maybe I just need to cool off and go back to trusting her that they're indeed only friends, even if it seems to be true that they have complicated feelings for each other. Or should I just end things? When people show you who they are, trust them. And you should trust her that she will always be pining for another one. You are always going to be the second choice, and you should leave her. It's gonna hurt, but you should rip the band-aid off now and be done with it, then keep it going on for who knows how long, like the rest of your life, and just be second best instead of finding your person and being their first choice forever and being so fucking in love, you know? All right, so let's now move on to the update. And it being best of Reddit updates, I fear there's no breakup in that first update. So the update was on November 10th, which is 2 days after the original post. And it says, I talked to Jordan on Wednesday night. The TLDR update to the situation is that I didn't break up with her. After we talked about everything, I feel like that would be too much an overreaction for what's actually going on. I do still think I was right to be upset about what I saw happening at dinner on Saturday, and Jordan didn't disagree with me about that. But I think I didn't jump to the wrong conclusion that it meant that she secretly actually wanted to be with Mark more than she wants to be with me. Now that we've talked about it, I don't think there's a reason to end what's otherwise the best relationship I've ever had, and I'm glad I didn't just immediately trust my instincts, because there was more going on with the situation that I didn't really understand that Jordan has since told me. And now I feel like she can be given some grace in this situation, assuming nothing like this ever happens again. So thanks for the advice, especially for everyone who told me to just talk to her before I make a big decision. Which is usually my advice, but I just went straight for the breakup for this one. I think it's because I was still a little bit in my head about the one we just had, where like she just needs to leave her fucking husband, you know? So when we talked, I decided to take the main piece of advice that I got from everyone and start by telling Jordan that my feelings were hurt by the way she treated me at dinner with Mark, and then see how the conversation went from there. It turned into a very long talk, so I didn't want to try to remember exact quotes and get them wrong, but here are the important things. 1. I repeated to Jordan some of what I wrote in the post and said that I felt excluded by her and Mark, especially because they were being overly touchy-feely with each other to the point where it made me uncomfortable. Jordan seemed surprised, like she didn't even notice that she and Mark were touching each other that much. But then she thought about it and said that I was right and apologized. She said that Mark is always really touchy with everybody and not just her, I asked. And so she didn't even think about it, but that she wished I would have said something at the time because she didn't realize they were being that obnoxious. I said that was part of what bothered me, because I thought that normally she would have noticed something like that, but she was acting so different around Mark and not paying any attention to anything else, including how I was feeling, that it was honestly just made me question which one of us she cared about more, or if she cared about him as more than just a friend. Jordan apologized to me and said that she could understand why it would look that way to me, but that she loves me and cares more about me than anyone else in the world, and that she didn't mean to act like that or make me feel that way. She said she was trying to not make Mark feel like a third wheel because of being a single guy out with a couple, but obviously it backfired and just made me feel like the third wheel instead, which wasn't what she wanted to either. Oh, I love her. She's so nice. I love her. Oh my goodness. Yay. Happy. I'm honestly so happy for them. See, when I tell you, if your partner doesn't want to communicate, then like dump them, which is what I said to the first and second story, and I forgot communication at this one because of how mad the second one made me. But communication, guys, it's always so fucking fun. There's more to it. There's more to it. Don't worry, there is quite more to this story. So, after that, Jordan explained a lot to me about her history with Mark, and basically as she explained it, she said that she fully admits she cares about him as more than just a normal friend, but she says it's not in a romantic way. I'm hoping that Mark is also not in a romantic way. She says that's why she always specifically refers to him as her best friend and not just as her friend, and says that she would use the phrase, he's like my brother, if it weren't for the fact that she once had an actual brother, RIP, so she wouldn't use that phrasing for anyone else. Understandable. According to Jordan, the main thing that happened to make her and Mark so close was when she was 17, she tried to kill herself. And that was actually when everyone else in the community stopped talking to her, and Mark was the only person who didn't. That does bring people together, huh? For the next couple of years until she moved, he was literally her only friend, and she said that he checked on her every single day to make sure she stayed alive, which is also when they got into the habit of talking on the phone so much. And also, apparently during this time, Mark's parents thought they were dating and made a big deal about how they shouldn't be, and that's why she made that remark during dinner. Apparently calling Jordan a godless Ethan is something that Mark's mom said. Okay. That does make very close friendships, I'm telling you. I'm not friends with that man that helped me through that anymore, but it does get you quite close in the moment, honestly. I did that Jordan and Mark basically said to me that he thought the two of them would be married if she had stayed in the church, and I asked her if she thinks that maybe Mark is in love with her, even if she doesn't feel the same way. She said definitely not, and I don't think she was being dishonest. I really don't agree with her, but I think she genuinely believes that Mark isn't into her in any way apart from friendship. Her opinion of the situation is that she also thinks she and Mark would eventually have gotten married if she had never left the church or moved. But from her perspective, it would have been more because of the peer pressure than anything else, and she doesn't think it would necessarily have been a good thing. She thinks Mark was just being honest about that and that possibility from his perspective. He thinks he and Jordan would have made a good couple, but he's probably thinking that because he's just assuming that in this scenario she'd be perfect church wife, so there's no reason why they wouldn't be a good couple. But then the big thing that happened at the end of the conversation is that Jordan told me Mark is coming back through our city on his way home from this trip. And so she was going to invite him to hang out with the two of us again. But she said that if I'm going to be uncomfortable with him around, then she won't ask him. A lot of people were saying that if she didn't offer to cut contact with him or cut down on contact with him, it meant that she valued him over me. So the fact that she brought up on her own that she wouldn't invite him to dinner for us again because I didn't like it seemed like a really good sign to me. Based on everything else that she said, I do understand why she did offer to totally stop being friends with him, and I wouldn't expect her to after what she told me about what happened when she was a teenager. Yeah, and honestly, I have told my ex a couple times. He did not like that, but if you try to make me choose between you and someone else, I will choose that other person. Not because I value them over you, but because you are forcing me to make a choice. And I think it might have gone that way if he told her, like, oh, I don't want you to ever have contact with him because I'm your man type shit. So now I'm deciding to take Jordan's word for it that although she and Mark are weirdly close, it's for the reason that she explained to me and not because she's in love with him. I think the fact that she was immediately apologetic instead of defensive was good. And the way she explained everything did make sense to me. I don't necessarily trust Mark, but I do think I can trust Jordan. Yeah, trust your wife, dude. Not your wife, your girlfriend, but trust your girlfriend. Trust your loved one, you know? But I'm going to watch and see if it seems like she's talking to him as much as she used to, or if anything changes or sounds different. I'm not going to be controlling and tell her that she can't talk to him or that she has to talk to him less, but I want to see if me talking to her about it causes her to act any differently at all. I'm kind of thinking she might realize on her own the way Mark acts towards her actually does seem like he likes her as more than a friend now that I've brought it up, but I don't know. It could be that things just go back to exactly the way they were before, and I won't know if anything has actually changed until the next time Mark is around in person. But I don't think that's something I should keep worrying about before it happens. Which I've said it before, but I love that they talked and just talked it through. And I love that he's not telling her to cut contact with someone who practically saved her life and stayed with her through dark times. And yeah, I love it. I love how she also reacted to be like, oh dude, I'm so sorry this, like, you felt like that. And we love adults being adults and being respectful to each other. So we have a relevant comment here, since that's a Redditor update. They just compile everything. It is so fun. Relevant comment. Someone asks, OP, did she acknowledge that the touching by her was inappropriate? I did not see how she could not have recognized how touchy they were and her lack of physical touch with you. Like many others have said, I'm not sure Jordan is being completely honest with you. Did you ask her how she would have felt in a reverse situation? If the three of you meet again, you might want to think about excusing yourself to go to the bathroom or something during the meal and hide from the interaction while you are gone. Don't film that. Don't just pretend to go. With how your girlfriend reacted, don't do that. If she hadn't reacted and was like, oh, and like talked shit and basically being like, fuck you, I love him or some shit, then yes. But don't do that. What the hell? See if Jordan changes how she interacts when you are not there. I say to capture it on your phone because then you have it to show her if you break up. If she interacts appropriately while you are gone, that she may have gotten the message. She should also start limiting our interaction with him, phone or text, because that relationship is not healthy, and those SO would have to deal with that if you two get married. It needs to be dealt with now. I feel like she could like keep talking to him as much as she does if it is respectful to everyone in the situation. So I don't like that comment. But OP answered, she did acknowledge that all the touching was inappropriate, yes. When she actually fought back on how much they were doing it and how over the top it was, she was embarrassed and realized she shouldn't have started acting like that just because Mark makes it seem normal. I then asked her how she'd feel in the reverse situation because it seems like she got it immediately as soon as I told her how it made me feel. If the three of us are ever together again, I'll definitely be watching everything, but I don't think there's a chance of that happening for a while. And you can watch while you're in the group setting, but don't pretend to go away to look, especially if she got the message. What the hell? Now we have update 2 on January 24th, 2024, which was nearly 3 months later. The situation seems pretty resolved now after Mike and Jordan had an argument over everything and are no longer friends. Oh, Mark was definitely in love with her and planning like for her to break up with her boyfriend. Ooh. What happened was that after Jordan told Mark we weren't available to hang out when he came back through our city, he blamed me, saying he could tell Jordan was only saying no to hanging out because I had a problem with him. Jordan admitted it was part of the reason and told Mark that she wanted a bit of space from him because she was trying to be respectful of our relationship. Love that for you. Mark got really offended and kept asking Jordan to explain why him being around was disrespectful to our relationship and kept pretending to not understand her answers. And eventually during the conversation, he started trying to guilt Jordan into making time for him and told her that she's become a worse person over the years because the Jordan he knew would never blow him off. That said, Jordan loved, and she took it as Mark saying that she was a bad person since she left the church and started crying. She ended up ending up with him. Oh, don't try to guilt trip her because your fragile masculine ego cannot take it. What the hell? Oh, he's been worse than I thought. Oh, ew. He's giving me the ick. Ugh. Jordan and I talked a lot afterward. I told her that I thought Mark was toxic because anyone else would have been understanding of what she said. Yes. Jordan said that a lot of what he said during the conversation reminded her of being in the church. She said that she couldn't explain it except that it was his attitude when he tried to argue with her. But I made her not really want to talk to him even outside of anything to do with our relationship. Yes. Yes, girl. Stand your ground. Oh, I love her. I love her. She's doing everything so fucking right. Like, not only for her relationship, but for herself as well. Oh, Jordan. She's doing amazing. I love her. Well, I hope she's doing amazing. Because that was like nearly 2 years ago. Oh, wow. January 2024 was nearly 2 years ago. Mark texted Jordan the day after asking if she really wasn't going to come see him and if she was going to pick some boyfriend over her only friend after he's been there through everything. Sometimes the fact that he's been there through everything is not a good enough reason for the friendship or relationship to last, which is a hard thing to learn and to accept, but it's honestly an amazing life lesson when you learn it. Jordan texted Mark back explaining her point again and saying that their friendship couldn't be the same anymore as it used to be now that she was with someone and that he should understand that. Totally fair. Mark texted Jordan that he couldn't believe she'd treat her best friend like that. Jordan tried to text Mark saying a friend wouldn't be guilt-tripping her, but it turned out that he had blocked her number. So now that he can't manipulate her and have her in his back pocket, he is guilt-tripping and blocking her. You know, the male loneliness epidemic, some of them are not lonely enough. Some men are not lonely enough, god damn it. After that, Jordan was feeling like she'd done something wrong or was too mean to Mark, but she and I talked about it again and she realized that she was right not to want to be friends with Mark if she's going to treat her like she owes him loyalty. Jordan then blocked him back, including on all her socials, so that if he later changes his mind and tries to apologize, she can ignore him. Good for her. Good for her. Oh, I love her. A couple weeks went by, and while I'll admit I was pretty happy about not hearing from Mark, Jordan was really bummed about how everything ended. I get it. A dude friend of mine, two of them, actually, it happened twice, started ignoring me, and in one of the situations, me and my best friend, because they got girlfriends. And they were like, oh, but they're gonna get jealous. One of them actually made one of my friends block his girlfriends. But he said something like, well, I have a girlfriend now, so like, let's not talk again. And I'm also gonna be deleting some things we've said in the past because she might be jealous. Like, oh, I'm sorry I told you I loved you because you were like a brother to me, but cool, dude. Do your thing. Live your life. I don't fucking care at this point. Oh yeah, and also that dude, he's now a Trump supporter and pro-life and yeah, just not a good person in general, so. She said that although she saw now that Mark wasn't a good person to have in her life because of his reaction to her trying to set a boundary, she still felt sad and abandoned. And it was bringing back a lot of same feelings she had as a teenager and her other church friends all turned their backs on her. So at this point, I asked her if she ever thought about going to therapy for religious trauma. And she said she'd gone for a few months when she first left the church, but the therapist wasn't really helpful. Find another therapist. You need to shop for therapists. I suggested that maybe it would be a good idea to try again with a better therapist because it sounds like all this stuff just bothers her a lot. And Jordan agreed with me and decided to make an appointment. She's had a couple of therapy sessions so far, and she says that they're good, but I don't really ask her for any details on what they talk about, so I can really update on that part of the situation. I do love it. Someone have asked, like, does she have any other new friends not related to church that she can rely on to? And OP does answer that she does. We have a few couples that we're pretty close friends with. She also has a bunch of friends from her work who I know she talks about problems and all that stuff, which is amazing. And that is the only comment I can see that really is relevant, especially to the end of the story. And I actually think we're going to end the video with only 3 stories because this one was very long and I did not expect the second one to have that second post. So I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing it. So leave a comment on the stories. Like, honestly, what do y'all think? Because that last story really showed how, what I was saying, that communication is so fucking important. It just showed how important communication is in a relationship. And I'm so happy for Opie and Jordan and how it all went down. Of course, I feel for Jordan and how, like, Mark is and stuff like that. But honestly, I'm happy for them. I hope they have a great life together. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one, which I don't know what it's gonna be, but yeah. Have a good one. Oh my god, this is so far. Bye.